We're now going to have a look at working with dates and times in JavaScript, and we'll take a look now at the date object, which contains various methods that allow you to get back all sorts of information, or properties that let you get all sorts of information back about the current time. And this is based on the local time of the user that's using, so you can't rely on this for things like actual times, because obviously a user can change the time on their system. So bear in mind that these are always local times. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and introduce to the new, or the date object, and we're going to use the new keyword, which we haven't seen yet, and this will create a new instance of the date object, and then we'll take a look at inspecting this and seeing what it's all about. So the first thing I'm going to do is quickly create a global variable, just as an example, and this is going to be a new date object. Now bear in mind that when we've created objects in the past, we've done things like this for objects and this for arrays, and obviously for things like strings we've just used single or double quotes. But what we're now doing is we're creating a new instance of the date object, which is going to instantiate this and allow us to access its properties and methods. So now that we've got this date variable created, let's go ahead and take a look at what we can do with this. So I'm going to go ahead and type in date, and you can see that this will automatically return us a human-friendly version of the date. It gives us the date, the time zone, and then gives us a sort of textual representation of the time zone. So in this case it's just GMT standard time, and we've got Thursday, January the 9th, 2014, 10:52 and 11 seconds. If we were to call that again, obviously that's going to change again. If we look at that like this, see, so it says 52:40 now, and that is exactly the time on my local machine. So now that we've had a look at what this outputs initially, we'll take a look at sort of some of the methods or properties that we can use in here. So if I type date dot, we get a list of all of these properties here that we can actually, or methods that we can actually do stuff with. So we've got all sorts of things that we can do. So for example, if I wanted to get the time, for example, I just use get time, and that will return me a timestamp of the current time. So I can do this over and over again, and it will return me basically a timestamp each time. And there's also things like get date, get day, get full year. So all information, all useful things that we can extract from it. So if you just wanted the year, you can use the get full year method. But you know, depending on your use of this, and depending on how you need to use this, you sort of go around and work with it as you need. So there's all sorts of things that we can do here. We also note that it has inherited from the object prototype. So if we were to say, for example, is prototype of no, that's not going to work. But yeah, so we have all sorts of information here. But yeah, it's basically inherited from the object inherited object prototype, so we can do all sorts of things. So we've got a to.json here. There's all sorts of things we can do. But as I've said, depending on your needs, you can go ahead and play around with each of these, and there's all sorts of things that we can do here. Again, the only thing that you need to bear in mind is that this is based on the local time of the user's computer rather than a server time anywhere, so that needs to be taken into account also.